So this is a co-op Four Job Fiesta where each of us each of our two characters has 4 jobs. So technically it's like an 8-job Fiesta.
So out of all the fucked up bootleg setups we've done, this has probably gotta be the worst.
Definitely. Alright,
I'm basically sitting on the floor against my bed right now.
And I'm just sitting on a really uncomfortable kitchen chair.
And that's all the context you'll get.
There's like a table that's too small for the TV we're watching the game on.
Assume that we're in like the garage or something.
The microphone is sitting on a... What is this? A piano stool?
Yeah. That Terraria character is... unfitting in this scene.
The Pixel Remaster actually gave Little Butts and Butts' mom unique sprites. I tried to get the GBA script for this playthrough, but it just made the game crash. So it's just the ERPG, or RPGE
to be fair,
translation.
I didn't watch him do it, so he could have fucked it up. There's a pond outside that window. How much are you willing to bet that there's ponds outside a lot of windows in this game?
Maybe it's supposed to be the sky.
Also, the perspective is just not correct.
It's just like looking down at a pond.
It's like out the window, we should only be seeing from here like 45 degrees downward out the window. So we should be just seeing the ground, but instead we're seeing like a golf game perspective looking out into the horizon. I can't play this game without him. I don't know what I'm doing. What? I just walked through that guy. And she walked to that guy. You guys like the purple window? I've made it myself. That guy's still just standing there. Man, everybody's walking through that guy. I was talking when you were gone. Like, I forgot that you opened the canal with a key.
Yeah.
Like, this game is surrounded by melodramatic games, and then this game is just... the world is filled with jokes.
I mean, you just drink, like the entire party just...
It kind of looks like a bomb! Okay, how does Goblin Punch work? Explain it again.
It's literally just a physical attack that you can use from the back row. I think a Goblin Punch even uses the strength stat, but the blue mage has like minus attack modifier, minus something really small, like -4 or something, but that's still, like, the blue mage is actually a rare class that can use broadswords, but their strength sucks dick. I don't get it. Do you know that thing about how the developers of Croc say that, like, they went to Nintendo with a 3D Yoshi game prototype?
Yeah, I've heard that.
And it's like, oh, they stole our idea and made it into Super Mario 64. That's probably not how it went down. There's a thing on here, like, there's unreleased games that would have used the Super FX chip. The last one is Yoshi Racing, and then parentheses, prototype that later evolved into Croc Legend of the Gobos, and then right after that it says citation needed. That's funny. Do Wii controllers work on actual things?
You can tell how shitty they are just by, like, looking and listening to them.
Yeah, it's not even a textile thing. It's literally just looking. Using any of your 5 senses.
However, supposedly the Stadia controller is pretty good. You know, cloud gaming has been around since, like, 2006 or whatever with OnLive. It still hasn't really been perfected, which is... even by Google, who spent a ton of money on Stadia, like, putting this infrastructure everywhere for it, and it still fucking fails.
I must say, I mean, I've always been just like whatever on Stadia. I am legitimately surprised they're giving full refunds to everybody. I know they're Google and they can just do that, but yeah, it's still impressive.
I think cloud gaming is good for demos, but right now it's not good for playing like 60-hour games.
Yeah, or playing like multiplayer games.
Way back when we only had terrible computers in this house, I really wanted to play Just Cause 2, and none of our computers could run it. And then Roman told me that he had Just Cause 2 on his OnLive account. And I was like, oh my god. And then he gave me his OnLive details. And that service is like lost media now, I guess. But it was actually kind of cool when I was, 12 or whatever. Because The entire thing was streamed. Even the menu was streamed. So you'd launch it, and then it would like launch the menu, which was streamed. So it had a huge amount of latency and had all this artifacting. But it was like this like freaking crazy menu. It was really stylish. And when you would start a game, it would have this loading screen where it like plays footage from the game. And it's like, loading Just Cause 2. And the game had like half a second of latency and had horrible video artifacts, but damn, I was into that shit so much. Because I just desperately wanted to play that game. I tried playing it again and it just kept crashing. Because it's made for Windows 7, I guess.
It's that and Super Meat Boy have that in common. It just doesn't run on modern computers. Super
Meat Boy runs fine. It just always had a problem where you can't start it up sometimes.
For me, that sometimes is all the times.
Oh.
I know this is off topic from what you were saying, but what is with RPGs and really arbitrary amounts of money in chests?
Because if it was a really round number, then it wouldn't be realistic.
I think it's more ridiculous that you're finding hundreds of dollars of bills in fucking chests. I love Tales of Graces, but that is by far the worst example I've ever seen. It's like they literally just typed in 4 random numbers.
Well, with that, it's a lot of ranges. Depending on the area, there's different ranges of gil you can get, which is still pretty pointless.
But I mean, I'm talking about the gil that you get in chests.
Although it's not gil, what is it?
Gold. Gold. I'm talking about the gold you get in chests that's fixed.
I assume that the rationale is if it's a really round number, like 1,000, and it's like, well, that's like miraculous. The real thing you should be asking is that why can we really quickly count all our money and add it up?
Well, yeah, I never thought about that too. But I remember, this is not a specific thing, but there's a chest in one of the random Fodra dungeons that has 8,521 gold in it or something, and that's a lot of money for this point in the game, so I'm glad I'm getting it, but it's just, how do you come up with that number? I don't understand.
You know, this game you have to have the one job for seeing traps, and you have to have the thief for running. You should have to equip the accountant job to see the exact amount of money you have, or else it just says a lot.
This is a random place to bring this up, but before we started recording, I was talking about how, Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster is a balance patch, and how freelancers shouldn't have the ability to equip every weapon. We're never gonna get out of here. But yeah, that would be a really cool thing and would give purpose to those equip weapon or equip armor skills, is if freelancer couldn't equip anything. Or everything.
Oh yeah.
You could only equip light armor and knives like any other job.
Adobe Lightroom, only $4.99 a month.
What even is that? I used that for one of my college courses, and I still don't know what it is.
It just makes your monitor white so that it lights up your room.
Oh, only $5 a month for that? What a steal!
The fact that all technology companies have to everything has to be a service now is really an epidemic.
I was thinking about that yesterday when I was walking out of Walmart and it said, subscribe to Walmart Plus for a free subscription to Paramount Plus. I was like, oh my god.
Well, to be fair, pointless subscriptions have always been a thing forever. Ever since, the United States Postal Service allowed companies to send things to people regularly. I feel like subscription bullshit has always existed, but in the computer area, it just keeps getting worse. It happened to Game Maker. They changed to a subscription model. I have a permanent license, so I'm lucky, I guess. But they switched to a model where you can use the entire thing for free, but if you want to export an EXE, you need to pay, $5 a month or something? So basically, all my permanent license does is allow me to forever export EXEs. It's really just
pirate it.
I guess what you can do is just make your game, and then whenever you need to export a new version, just pay the $5 that month, and then get as many exports out of that month as you can. That's probably how I would do it.
Undead Rusk? I'm pretty sure the GBA translation is Undead Husk.
Rusk.
Unless Rusk is supposed to stand for something. I think my least favorite thing about subscription things currently is the fact that you have to pay monthly for Adobe shit.
Yeah.
I'm not paying monthly for fucking Photoshop. You can eat my ass.
Look, I'm not an economist, so I'm probably just gonna talk in my ass. But even if you make the same amount of money charging people $1,000 one time, or charging a little over a lot of time, like, shareholders just like seeing
Money go up every month.
constant flow of income rather than like spikes of it, I guess. I don't know. Just like the peace of mind that's like, our customers have to keep paying us. There's no escape. I guess it's like the rationale. Like, Adobe stuff isn't even that good. Like, it's good, but it's not
That good.
It's not like integral. It's good in the fact that like a lot of better alternatives that have come out use it as a base to be better.
And there's Photopea, the like online version of Photoshop that's just free. And really the only downside of Photopea is that you have to use it in a fucking browser.
Ugh. That guy is called Skeleton. Why isn't he called like Headband Galaxian?
Because that would be copyrighted, I think. That's the name of that thing that Pac-Man uses in Smash Bros.
Oh, right. That is a game. Right?
Yeah.
At first I thought you were talking about the Galactic Knight from Kirby. Galactic Book Fair.
The Galactic Book Fair.
The book fair, the book, like the yearly book fairs in elementary school for me are basically just like E3 for Diary of a Wimpy Kid, because that's all it was. I would just buy the new Diary of a Wimpy Kid because it was like a yearly series.
Are they still? Is that guy still making them?
Yes, apparently.
The guy seems really despondent on Twitter, and it's really funny.
Despondent.
He's just like sad. Okay, I did this in my Four Job Fiesta run that's like on my channel. If you ignore this map, it does actually follow you throughout the game. I forget at what points, but the first time I remember it showing up was in the fire ship. But yeah, it just shows up occasionally in dungeons in case you somehow missed it here. It's kind of funny.
Whoever came up with that, the other people should have just been like, we can just make it so you start with it.
Yeah, they really should have just done that. The fact that you get it in a wrecked ship, honestly, has never made sense to me.
Anyway, explain why Jeff Kinney is despondent. That's right, I remembered his name.
There was like a thing on Tumblr where people just like posted his weird comments on Twitter. He was like, oh, poor guy. Where Jeff Kinney made a tweet that's like, my newest Diary of a Wimpy Kid is out, go buy it. And then someone replies to him being like, Jeff, do you really just want to write these books forever? And then he responds like, it's all I'm good at. Despondent probably isn't the right word for it, but he's funny.
I don't even know if they're good. Actually, you know what? I'd say they are, because from what I remember, they're like pretty good dry humor for kids. That series, Captain Underpants, and Super Paper Mario probably formed me and my friends' senses of humor.
Why Super Paper Mario?
I mean, just think about it. Like, thinking about it, all the freaking proper nouns in that game are just weird things we would have said as kids. Like, oh, chunks. I'm not a big fan of any of these character sprites we have.
You don't like Knight Lena?
I wish that... See, it feels like the characters in the battles look way different from these characters. But I feel like that's because there's so little detail. I'm just filling in with my imagination a lot.
I think this boss is like one of the only bosses to get like a 2-tile big sprite. Like the Magician, whatever her name is, on the mountain has her own sprite, but it's only 1 tile big. And then like X-Death has his own sprite. And like basically no other boss does. Whenever you play old RPGs, you have to just accept the fact that on the overworld everything is like basically just game pieces. Looks like Lena's crossing her arms, but like going down. Looks like she's just going gangsta. Oh god. Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm gonna die from poison. One last one. Alright. Nice. Hooray. The literal final hour. I'm about to execute a tangent, unfortunately. I personally think that a spoiler warning is like worth it because the game is really good, but people are like, oh, if it's over such and such years old, there shouldn't be a spoiler warning. But I disagree with that.
Anyway, stop listening. Oh! People watch this for the gameplay, right?
Probably not.
I remember in our first playthrough of this, we never sold anything, and we also never sorted our inventory. Whenever we'd use like a throw command, we'd open the... It'd be like, open item! Got it. By the way, it's nice that this game has two worlds that merge, and then you can actually see what they're like when they're merged. Symphonia. 2 even. The one game where having an actual overworld would have been cool. Wait, the slug is Rock Garter?
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess so.
Galacat? There's something...
I think it was Gaia Cat.
I really genuinely love these names.
You'd love
like,
Wyvern.
They're like silly, but they're not as insulting as the PS1 ones. I feel like there's 3 different art styles on the screen. Like, the enemies are like paintings, the characters are Terraria, and the backgrounds are a DOS game.
You're not wrong.
Like Newgrounds sprite battles. I like how the process for using Goblin Punch takes twice as long as me using Fight, but it does half as much damage.
Not even, it does like a third. Yeah, thank God for Memory Cursor. I really don't like, even in Pixel Remaster, you can't rearrange spells like you could in 4. Because the black and white magic is tiered, and blue magic... Why did you do that?
I forgot about that.
Why did you do that? For blue magic, I don't even know why. It's just all the spells have to go in certain places for no real reason. And even though Goblin Punch and Arrow and Flash are 3 of the earliest spells you can get, they're just in completely random places. So it's not even related to when you can get them in the game.
Whoa.
Big guy.
He's Urian charging at us.
He's gonna EX charge.
My headcanon for Goblin Punch is that it's like level 3 Blade from Cave Story, but with a goblin punching.
But it's a goblin instead of king.
Yeah.
I like that. I know he said you're alright. He's like, oh my god, you're okay. But it's like, he looks at you, he's like, alright, you're alright. You can go in. In Dissidia, Bart's... when he goes into EX mode, his like EX mode is master all jobs, and for some reason he inexplicably gets the ability to use Goblin Punch, and it even has the blue magic like diamond effect.
Wow.
Bart sucks in Dissidia, but I think that's cool.
Does it have the same effect? Where you do the same level and you die?
Actually, I'm not sure. That's a good question. There's a button in the bottom left.
I remember this guy. Some bird that goes is having its wounds treated like that.
That's pretty good.
Work. That wasn't even a jump, that was just a levitate.
He is a magician. Look what I can do. Wow.